No way. There's no way that he gets this. No way he gets this. No way. Nope. Fucking Notre Dame. That pretty much sums it up right there, Clutch. I was doing this all week long. Oh, you got a drink? Oh, is that you were drinking that before the game, weren't you?
Yeah, so I'm just going to keep drinking it until I die.
Guess what I was drinking? The Kool-Aid. The green Kool-Aid all week long. All week long after Texas A&M, after that great victory down in College Station, I just drank this, the Kool-Aid, all week long.
You and everybody else, brother.
I mean, listening to every frickin' Marcus Freeman story about how he's like this different coach and that like he gets the players and Notre Dame's headed to the playoffs.
There's no doubt he gets the players, but that doesn't win games.
No, he doesn't know how to coach. He need to know how to coach. And I'll hold on. And I'll say this. This is one thing that I wanted to read. This came from 1 Foot Down. He kind of pointed this out because he wrote a whole thing. He didn't want to write this whole big, long article, but he wrote this part that I thought was really telling. It says, new dual threat, or let's be honest, single threat quarterback Riley Leonard made comments pregame about using the NIU, Northern Illinois University matchup as an opportunity to work on his passing. This is during the pregame. I didn't see this. Freeman was informed of this and said Leonard just needs to focus on executing the game and continue on what you heard.
And what I heard, and then everyone heard this at the beginning of the NBC broadcast, the interview on the field right before the game. Freeman was
I had the audio down. I was listening to the radio broadcast already, so I did not hear this.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad because that NBC broadcast was horrible. When you hear what's his face go, oh, and then just get quiet.
Was that Jarrett?
Yeah. When Ned Flanders does that, when your wife tells you at the beginning of the game, hey, don't worry about it, we'll just listen to the color commentating, and then by the fourth quarter, she's like, can you turn the volume down? This guy's really annoying. Yeah, that's bad. Before the game, on the field interview with Freeman, the reporter asked him a couple questions. One of the things about with Riley Leonard, something to the effect of what's the game plan, and he said that he said the whole team needs to focus on the game plan and not try to go for the big plays down the field and just keep it contained within what they planned all week. And I was like, as soon as he said that, I was like, do you think Saban told his team that? No. That's where I go with everything now. It's like Saban, first year, maybe. I mean, but this is not your first year. This is your third year. Light this shit up and let's go. I mean,
why does this guy who's a senior, who 2 years ago during his sophomore year at Duke had over 2,000 yards passing, why does he need to work on his passing game?
Yeah, that's exactly.
What are you talking about? Work on your passing game?
That should be done. They should be already have that established.
I'm going to tell you right now, just this leads into that. What we just said kind of leads into the stat that our friend Wayne sent us after the game. Through 2 games, Notre Dame has thrown 2 passes over 20 yards. One was dropped. The other was intercepted. That big time drop by Greathouse. And the other one was a ball that was thrown that was horrible. How short was that pass? Probably 15 yards short.
It was underthrown. It was
way underthrown.
And people were making comments on that. Well, maybe it wasn't Riley Leonard's issues throughout the game. Bullshit, it wasn't. I mean, just because your receiver doesn't run a route, you don't throw it behind him still.
The whole reason.
Or throw it to the wrong spot. You throw it to the wrong spot, but you don't throw behind them, throw them short. I mean, it just...
The whole reason why Jeter was on the field to kick a 62-yarder, which I thought was insane, is because they knew Leonard can't throw a deep ball.
Then put in fucking goddamn peanut butter and jelly or car.
I know. Well, he's not.
This
is what's happening in West Lafayette this weekend. There's already a depth chart out. Guess what? Riley Leonard's not going anywhere. He's going to get another chance, which is bullshit. If Marcus Freeman knew anything, he would. And I think it's the whole NIL. I think it's the fact that like they owe so much freaking money, and they just blew $1.4 million to have NIU come in so they could play him at home and lose.
I have it written right down here in my notes. How does the NIL play into sitting a transfer portal player? You know?
Yeah.
If you sit him, can you not sit him because of the money that's involved now?
I don't know. Will the booster say, well, I guess if you're sitting him, I don't give a fuck about paying him.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea how that all works. And, but I would like to know how it works. So if somebody has a comment, please let us know.
Yeah. Be our first comment. We'd love to have our first comment.
I know. We need some comments. On the season, Notre Dame is 8-20, throwing the ball over 10 yards. 8 for 20. I want Sam Hartman back.
No, I do not. No.
I'll take Sam Hartman back. I'll take what's his name? The guy that went to Arizona State and then transferred to Arizona. I'll take Jack Cohn back. Give me somebody who can actually throw the fucking ball.
Put Ron Paulus's other son in, the one that plays O-line in, and let him just throw. Because his arms, he's got to have some genetic traits there like his dad did.
What the hell was this guy thinking? He could not get rid of the ball. He had happy feet. He just did not seem comfortable, which is ridiculous.
What's the syndrome I told you guys at the beginning of the game, and you're like, shut up.
Ron Paulus syndrome.
Ron Paulus syndrome.
But again, why? He already played in front of one of the most rowdy crowds in all of college football at Kyle Stadium a week beforehand in front of 107,000 fans. What are you doing? You're at home. Are you scared because Jesus is looking at you?
I even brought a little extra Jesus, and that didn't help.
I mean, come on. I that was pathetic, and I'm sorry, but it was pathetic. Now, continuing on with this article, because there's some better points here. I mean, all I heard though is just reading articles on Sunday and just kind of going through some stuff and skimming over stuff, was the fact that like 3 straight years we have taken a quarterback transfer. Jack Cohn, Mr. Handsome, Sam Hartman, and now Riley Leonard. I'm like, why can't we develop a quarterback? We talked about this in the first episode of this podcast. We talked about they really need to start developing a quarterback, and I really think they're trying to do that with CJ Carr. But again, now you're in the spot where you're just like, what the hell is going on? The receivers that you bragged about, or at least the media bragged about, are crap, except for Bo Collins. I think Bo Collins is legit.
He's legit.
But that dude from fucking Florida International, he's bullshit. What has he done? Now, some good news is the fact that Jordan Faison is coming back and he'll be ready for the Purdue game, which is good.
That's good, but you got to get the ball to him, and when you throw to his ass cheeks, he's not going to. He doesn't catch balls with his ass cheeks.
Why in the world would Marcus Freeman not bench Riley Leonard in the game for the simple fact of just to show him the bench and what it looks like and could look like for the rest of the season and put peanut butter and jelly in? Why? Why wouldn't you do that? Play head games with this kid. Maybe it'll fix them. I don't know. But again, you continue playing the same bullshit. No halftime adjustments. None. No halftime adjustments whatsoever. We played the same bullshit we played in the first half. Now the defense, mind you, gave up only 16 points, put us in a very good spot. Again, they didn't play great, but they only gave up 16 points. We were in the game. We were in the game till the end, which we should have been way out of the game and thinking about what we were having for dinner that night after we ran that team by 4 touchdowns, but we didn't. We lost again to a frickin' what is Marshall's not a MAC opponent? Are they MAC?
Yes.
NIU's MAC. So again, for second time in 2 years. So now another thing that this article, the 1 Foot Down article, pointed out was the fact that, is this worse than losing to Marshall and Stanford 2 years ago? Because Stanford was atrocious. They're terrible. When you look at this and you look at all the talent we have on this roster right now, all the talent, and we lost to this team.
Yep.
I mean, even the offensive line, I don't give a shit how young you are. You just played at Kyle Field in front of 107,000 fans, and you did awesome. What the fuck happened in a week? I mean, seriously.
Yeah, they can't run the ball either. Unless you're Price.
Are you ready for that? Are you ready for that 5-minute rant? I'll sit back and you can go.
Yeah, it won't quite be 5 minutes, but so you sent me earlier today the transcripts of Freeman's press release leading into Purdue. And I didn't even get through the whole thing because I was already making too many notes that were bullshit. First thing he starts off with, he says, when you evaluate the film, here are some of the key factors that led to the outcome. Turnover margin, talks about that.
Yep.
They had six for 186 yards for explosive gains. We had 5 of 94. Time of possession. Let me go back up. That's 6 of 90. Well, I'll go back to that one for in a second. Time of possession, they talk about that. Rushing yards, they talk about that. And then they won the third down battle. You know what? That's fucking the whole goddamn game. Those aren't key factors. That's the whole fucking game, basically, that you just listed that you failed at. It wasn't like, oh, they just beat us on third down conversions or they beat us in the special teams game. No, you just rattled off all the shit of the whole game and said these are key factors. No, that's not the key factors. The whole key factor is that you showed up and you didn't play. The explosive plays he's talking about, 6 of 186 for them and 5 for 94 for Notre Dame. Those aren't explosive plays. Do you remember any explosive play in that game other than the one rushing touchdown?
Yeah, by Jeremiah Love. That rushing touchdown was the most explosive play ever. I mean, the fact that guy jukes and then immediately hurdles a dude and goes for a touchdown, badass play.
Yeah,
badass play.
You should transfer now because the fucking rest of the season sucks. So their average on explosive plays was 31 yards. Ours was 18. That's not explosive. That's a first down, but it's not explosive. Then I go in and say the quarterback, he goes in and says the quarterback is just like the head coach, right? Rightfully so. He is going to get the blame and he's going to get the praise. There are times that he has to throw the ball better. He knows that his fundamentals have to be better. His decision-making has to be better, but we also have to be better around him. That's coaches in what we're asking him to do, and we're asking him to read, and that's players wise too. We got to catch the ball when he throws it. No, it's not. Throwing short and behind a receiver has nothing to do with what you're asking of him. That's just fucking normal quarterback play. Yeah. Can you get can you take the ball from your hand and get it to that guy's hands? Yes. Okay. That's the basics. Now let's do some other stuff like running routes and reading defenses. He can't even do that.
Remember when he spazzed and he threw it behind him and luckily it rolled out of bounds? Like, what the fuck were you doing?
We should have known this was going to happen too, because we saw that thing. It's in the Netflix or whatever, the show where he threw the ball in the classroom and he missed and he almost hit the girl in the head.
Bad, dude. And if Marcus Freeman legitimately thinks that he can get Riley Leonard pumped up to play for Purdue now, it's already in his head. He's going to go mental and he's done. I'm sorry, but your best bet right now is to start Peanut Butter and Jelly, Steve Angeli.
Yeah, I agree.
Today, Saturday. And I'd be totally on board with it. We just watched this game with the Sun Bowl when he threw for 212 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks against Oregon State, a ranked team. Please tell me. What is wrong with that?
Who's the offensive coordinator again? What's his name?
Mike Denbrock.
Denbrock came from LSU, and I heard somebody say when he was down at LSU, he had what's his face is the quarterback down there, and so he knew what he had in terms of dual threat quarterback. Yeah, Daniels. So now he's got this, Riley Leonard guy, and he doesn't know what Riley Leonard does good, so he doesn't know how to frame his offense around Riley Leonard like he did at LSU, and that might be a good point, but he can't right now. It can't do anything great. We can see he can run for a big white guy, but that's about it. So, another thing they said is why somebody asked why has it been so difficult to sustain success, not just this year, and it says it seems like it's always been 3 steps forward, 1 step back. Yeah, and that's a bad answer too, because I don't remember Saban doing that. Harbaugh came in, did a bunch of steps back, and then took 1 huge step forward, regardless if he was cheating or not, and won. So that's a shit fucking answer. Well, that's the game of, he says that's the game of football. If I had a perfect answer, we would win every damn game we would play. That's bullshit. And that's all. Basically, that's all I've got on my notes. I was all over the place. I didn't read them in order that I wanted to, but I'm so done with Notre Dame, because this is my wife, who is grew up a U of M fan and U of M family, is looking at me saying, why did I become a Notre Dame fan? Because ever since I came on board back with Charlie Weiss, you guys have just not been exciting. And I said, you know what? I'll be honest with you. The most exciting time for Notre Dame football in the last 24 years has been Charlie Weiss. I would love to see them lose. I don't know if I want to see him lose to Navy or 8 fucking overtimes with Pitt, but I would love to see, Jeff Samardzija run one. I'd love to see freaking Quinn throwing some shit, and Tommy Zibikowski laying some motherfuckers out. I'd love to see that. It's not exciting anymore. There's no entertainment. 16 fucking points. What the fuck is that? I could scratch my nuts and get 16 points out of that. I mean, Jesus.
We didn't have 16 points. We had 14.
Well, what did we have week before? I don't know. Whatever.
So, yeah. 16 probably. Here's the deal. Here on this 1 foot down article, it goes on to say basically to be frank, Freeman's pulling the same crap as head coach that the head coach that preceded him did. The difference is that Brian Kelly, for all the hate he catches for Notre Dame fans, he didn't think he could win a championship at South Bend. Well, here's a great stat. Fans will point this out. At least Notre Dame didn't lose to an unranked team in the last 5 years with Kelly as head coach. Fans will also point to the fact that Freeman's 8-4 record against top 25 teams versus Kelly's 5-6 record his final 3 years. But that's just a BS stat. Freeman is 3-5 against teams that actually finished ranked. 3-5. Yeah. Now, 2022 BYU and Syracuse finished unranked, as did 2023 Duke, USC, and Oregon State. And he says my money's on Texas A&M to finish unranked this season as well. Could be. I don't know what you do, but whatever you're doing, it's completely wrong. You're not getting your guys ready, and I think it's a bad job as coach. Is it the entire reason why they lost on Saturday? It's a huge reason why. They didn't prepare him. And he said it right straight up that there's 2 types of preparedness for a player or your team. You got the physical part of it, which they felt like they were ready for, and the mental part of it. Well, we know the mental part. I mean, he was so off. I knew from the get-go. He was underthrowing passes. That's the one thing that Hartman would do. Wouldn't Hartman overthrow passes? Now we got a guy who's underthrowing passes. He wasn't putting it on the spot, and it's horrible decision making. Terrible decision making.
Hartman couldn't throw the cross play pass. He'd only throw the bombs in the corners. I mean, I don't know where I heard this either, but somebody pointed out that game against Northern Illinois, he was throwing all those little dink and dunk passes. And then our running game was being stifled. So everything was right around being dumped off right around the line of scrimmage, which brought the defense in tighter and tighter. And that's why we couldn't do anything. They weren't trying to stretch out the field and keep the defense honest. And once you stretch that out, then you got holes to open up that you can run some balls. But they weren't doing that. They kept throwing these little shit passes everywhere. It's like, come on, open it up. Let's go. I mean, again, I think sometimes, I hate to say this, this goes back to the day back when we were bitching about Kelly, but I think this goes back, I think, to Notre Dame as a whole. They're more worried about the bottom line and their image as a school, which I get that, but they're not worried. They're not worried about the national championship. If they were, they would, put some more effort into, the football program a little bit.
Well, they
so
would
maybe
be pulling this bullshit.
Maybe this new athletic director will, crack some heads and skulls. I don't know. We'll see.
Well, I believe Marcus Freeman's definitely on the hot seat. It's his third year, and he's lost to 2 MAC teams now. He's lost to a really bad Stanford team. Yeah, I just don't think he has it in him to continue on if he doesn't do something to right this ship, and he hasn't. It's just year number 3, and you're losing to teams that you should not be losing to, based on talent alone. The talent that comes to Notre Dame, the 3, 4, 5-star players that we get on a year-by-year basis, should wipe this team out every single year. And Brian Kelly did it. He learned how to do it. Brian Kelly never really lost those really, really bad games. I mean, a Navy, once in a while, that's fine. But you lose to a MAC school, 2 MAC schools in a span of 2 years? Not good. Not good at all.
Kelly just didn't freaking recruit. That was a problem. Just like Ty Willingham didn't. Just like who else didn't? I don't know who else. But just now you got the transfer portal, and it's like, oh, I don't have to recruit. Let's just pull fuckers out of the transfer portal.
You got it.
Let's see if they can. Let's see if they can acclimate in over the summer, and we can light it up.
And they can fit in our system, and we're just gonna rock it. No, you're not. You're not. Develop a quarterback.
Oh shit! Here we go again.
Round at the 30.
Oh, sorry.
Save them. Just save Notre Dame. Just save them.
Where'd you get that shit?
I don't know. Someone gave it to me at work.
So nice of them. I had a vendor text me at the end of the game. I talked to him on Friday. He says, hey, and he's a big Michigan fan, so he's got that Michigan personality, but he's an NIU grad. He says, Notre Dame's playing NIU. What do you think? And I don't worry about it. I'd worry about your Wolverines more than anything. Just kind of blew it off. He goes, well, I just want to say if Northern Illinois wins, I'm going to get a jersey for you, so you'd have to wear it in our next meeting. And I'm like, whatever.
Oh,
I mean, the fucking clock didn't even hit 0, and I got a text, and he goes, what size do you wear? And all I did was write him back, and I said, I'd rather have a shirt that says Appalachian State, please. And then he's like, oh, that one hurt.
Well, Notre Dame dropped 13 spots, 13 big spots in the AP poll.
Should have dropped them out of the top 25. Is my
well, that would have been huge. Well, let's see. They got the spread for the game here, and I don't know what it looks like. The Irish are 10.5 point favorites.
Purdue's got a new coach, and they're saying, watch out. I don't know. I don't even know what Purdue's done this year.
Well, they beat FCS Indiana State Sycamores 49-0.
Okay.
And it looks like, who else did they play? I don't know. It doesn't look like they've
they had a bye week 2. Come on.
Hold on. No, it doesn't look like they've. No way. You gotta be kidding me. They've only played 1 game? Yeah, they're 1-0. They are 1-0. They've only played 1 game.
Wish we only played 1 game.
I know. Could we erase? Anyway, so they played the Sycamores. Let's see here. And then beat them 49-0. Let's see if we get some stats here. Passing yards, Purdue 273 yards. Hudson Card. Hudson Card is a transfer, isn't he? Yeah, he is. He's a transfer from Oregon. Is that Oregon or is that Buffalo? What is this? No, not Buffalo. That's just the Purdue hat.
I'm watching highlights right now from the Sycamores.
Let's see. He started at Texas. Hudson Cards played for Texas as a true freshman.
Quarterback?
Yep. And then he transferred to Purdue in 2022.
I just watched Indiana State sack his ass on the 10, so that's not.
So last year, he didn't really do too well last year. Didn't really play a lot. I don't know if he was maybe somebody else was starting over him, it looked like. Yeah, he was a backup to Sam Ellinger. So, and he also competed with Casey Thompson. So I don't know. We haven't played Purdue and West Lafayette in years. So this will be interesting. They always, the big drum's going to come out. They're going to bang that big drum. They're going to make it loud. And I'm going to tell you right now, Purdue's going to be ready. And Notre Dame, they better be ready too. And I hope they really have something in the works for Riley Leonard. Give a new arm or something. Bionic arm so he can throw over 20 yards. Be nice. I don't know. Clutch, you got a prediction. We're running out of time here.
I'm gonna say 6-5.
Ah! I
have lost all interest in Notre Dame football for the rest of the season because it doesn't matter anymore. Oh, big deal. They make the playoffs. Are they going to beat anybody in the playoffs? What do you think? No, they're not going to beat anybody in the playoffs.
All right. So, I'm going to say one thing. I'm going to say 17-14 Irish. Right. I don't think they're going to win this game. It's only going to be by 3, but it's going to be a close game again. We're going to be pulling our hair out at halftime. And the drinks will be flowing because we'll be at Clutch's house. We'll be doing a podcast there that night on the 14th, and so we're gonna have Bruce, our father's gonna be on site, so that'll be fun, and our nephew Jared's gonna be on site, so it's gonna be fun to kind of talk a little bit about Notre Dame with the family and do a show from there at Clutch's house. So
we're gonna Charlie Weiss is supposed to swing by for a couple minutes.
Charlie Weiss.
I wish. That'd be great.
All right, well, guys, thanks again for joining us for another episode of Bro-ish. Two brothers talking Notre Dame football. Hey, Golden Blues, dude, I'm not done with you. I'm not done, Clutch. It can't be done. Bye.
Round at the 30-yard line. Cut to the right, looking for a block. Tries to cut to the outside. Cuts inside.